I'm trying to figure out a way to do this that is in line with the actual truth of the soul, but that also takes into consideration what we mean when we say soulmates and doesn't disregard the meaning of your question. So let's talk about the soul first, and then we'll come to the mate part after. So, as we've been saying, we're all part of that same. And the soul itself, and actually all of these metaphors, all of these examples are not perfect, because there's actually no place the soul has gone. So even our examples of the drop moving and it returns is not a perfect example, because the soul hasn't actually gone anywhere. The best way to think about it is actually in terms of having a container here. And in the container is air. It's an empty container, full of air. The same air as is outside the container. So there's no distinction, except that there's this glass or wood or plastic or whatever border of the container. And the minute that you break the container, well, what happens? The air that was in the container merges back with the air that was outside the container. But ultimately, it never actually was separate. It's not that it went somewhere. So all of these metaphors and all of these examples are trying to get closer and closer and closer to a truth that's very difficult to put into a physical example. But I think the container in the air works even better in some way than the drop of water and the ocean. So our souls are part of that same divine soul, as we spoke about the mantra, Purnamada. So we're all that same infinite. Okay, that's the nature of the soul. It doesn't actually go someplace, because in order to go someplace, that would imply a finiteness to it. In this body, it's the Jivatma, like the air in the container. But when the container is broken, the air in the container goes back to being with the air outside. And upon the breaking of this body, the ending of this body, the Jivatma becomes one with Paramatma, the main supreme soul. Okay, so now we talk about soulmates. What a soulmate really is one with whom you can experience your soul. It's not about I'm half over here and you're my other half, or you are the yin to my yang. That and we're just perfectly fit, and somehow in some, unfortunate big bang, I wound up over here and you wound up over there, and now we have to find each other again. It's a beautiful concept, but as far as what we know about the soul, it doesn't actually bear truth. But that doesn't mean that it's less beautiful or less powerful. What the question then becomes is, how can I take the idea of a soulmate in a way that A is in line with what a soul really is, and B is in line with this deep love and relationship and connection that I'm yearning for. What a soulmate is one with whom you experience your soul. All of us, we were speaking about this today, all of us are energetic beings. We look very physical. We look very material. It looks like there's this border at the end of me here, and my arm ends here. But if you looked at me under an electron microscope, what you would see is electrons whirling very, very, very fast. I have a magnetic field. I have a magnetic pull. We actually now even know that our thoughts have magnetic fields and that you actually can measure the frequency of the magnetic pull of people's thoughts from not even touching their heads. I mean, science is going in incredible directions, understanding the energy of who we are. And that energy is different. So the soul is the same, but the energy of the container we're in, this interaction of the body and the mind and what we call our sanskaras, our karma, our emotions, all of that has created a different energetic frequency. And a soulmate is one with whom the energetic frequencies line up in such a way that you're able to go deeper from the material level into the soul level. If you looked at it if I had a whiteboard here, if you looked at an electric frequency, whether it's sound, whatever it is, frequency waves look like this, right? Okay. If two frequency waves come together, there's two options of what can happen. If they hit each other in the wrong way, then what you end up with is a much higher frequency, which is where we feel stress. Takes us farther out from the depths of our soul. If the frequencies hit each other in the right way, they balance each other out in such a way that what there is stillness. And in that stillness, in that peace, we're able actually to have a glimpse of our own soul. Through the other one, no problem. Because the soul is one. So whether I think I'm connecting with your soul or I think I'm connecting with my soul, it doesn't matter. Is there only one soulmate for each of us in the world? No, probably. I can't tell you I know for sure that we all have several. I don't think we each have only one. I don't think the universe has been created in such a way that they took each of us, split us in half, and then threw these halves to far corners of the world just to drive ourselves crazy finding each other again. When we talk about a soulmate, it means that in each other's presence, that container is broken. And in that experience of being together, not only have we merged and melted into each other, but through that union, we've merged and melted into the divine. There's actually certain scientific frequencies that you can use to break glass. You can have a glass, and I can blow a whistle or make a sound that's at a high enough frequency, it will actually shatter that glass. Our soulmate is one in which the frequency is such that the container I'm in that blocks me from knowing my soul gets shattered. And so I have an experience of being one with the universe through that connection.